Hello. Yes, we are here back again with some more sums from TS Grewal, class 11. Okay, trial balance sums. Here we can see a sum. Here few accounts are given: capital, bank loan, sales, and all. Further information is also given. During the month of March 22, the business made a following transaction: bought materials for 50,000, half for cash and half for credit. Yes. So what here they are saying, that 50,000 rupees materials you have purchased. So when you are purchasing 50,000 rupees materials, so what you will have to do in purchases, you have to add 50,000. So I have done here. See, in purchases I have added extra 50,000. Okay, because this was given the additional information. Now for the information they're saying, out of 50,000, half was purchased in cash and half credit. Okay, means 25,000 cash purchase and 25,000 credit purchase. So when you're doing 25,000 cash purchase, so what will happen when you're purchasing goods? So 25,000 you have to give. Okay, so 25,000 cash purchase means what? From purchase you have to minus 25,000. I have done here, see, minus 25,000. From purchase I have done from cash I have done minus 25,000. And when you're doing credit purchase, then in creditors you have to add 25,000, because you have to pay the person from whom you have purchased in future. Okay, credit purchase means what? You are purchasing from a person but you are not paying the money. Okay, if you're not paying the money, that person is what? That person is your creditor whom you have to pay in future. Okay, so what I have done, 25,000 I have subtracted from cash because I have made cash purchase. So when I am doing cash purchase, I have to give away cash. So from cash I have minus 25,000. And from creditors, when I'm purchasing, credit purchase means what? I'm not paying the person at a time, but I will pay in future. So what I'm doing in creditors, I'm adding 25,000. Okay, next, number 2, made sale of 52,000, out of which 40,000 were on credit. 52,000 rupees extra sale you're doing. Here we can see, here sales is 7,30,000. You're doing more, how much sales? 52,000. So sales I'm adding more 52,000. See here in sales I've added 52,000. Sales 7,30,000 plus 52,000. They have said that out of this 52,000, 40,000 was credit sale. Credit sale means what? 40,000 you have to add in debtors. Okay, you have sold the goods but you have not got the money. Credit sale. Okay, credit sale means what? You have sold the goods but you have not got the money. You will get the money in future. So the person will be what? The person will be your debtor. So in debtors I have added 40,000. Okay, and remaining 12,000 was cash sales. Cash sales. So in sales, when you're doing cash sales, you are getting the cash. Okay, so in cash I have added 12,000, which I have received by selling the goods. Okay, 12,000. Next, number 3, paid wages to shop assistants. 30,000 rupees wages you are paying. When you are paying wages, then what will happen? Automatically from cash the money will be deducted. See, I have subtracted from cash 13,000. Okay, and your pages, you are paying what? Wages. So in wages you have to add that 13,000. For what you are giving that money? You are giving that money for wages. So in wages I have added extra 13,000. Okay, and after that, as usual, I have placed the items according to the trial balance rule. In credit, all incomes and liabilities and gains we write in credit side, and debit we write all expenses, losses and assets. Capital, credit side as usual. Bank loan, credit side is a liability as usual, credit side. Purchase is an expense, so debit side. Sundry creditors is a liability, credit side. Sundry debtors, asset, debit side. Vehicles, asset, debit side. Sales is an income, we have written credit side. Cash, asset, debit side. Bank, asset, debit side. Wages and salaries is an expense, so debit side. Bank loan interest, you have taken a bank loan, for that you have to pay the interest, so it is what? It is your expense, so you have to write in debit side. Other expenses always comes in debit side of trial balance. Okay, and after that I've added both the columns. I got the total 2698,000. Okay, next we are moving to next sum. Here see, from the following ledger balance extracted from the books of Raj, prepare a trial balance. Okay, in this sum we have seen one new thing. What is that? Input GST and output GST. Okay, always input GST, whatever input CGST, input SGST, input IGST, whatever is there, input GST will always be shown in debit column. Input GST will always be shown in the debit column of trial balance, and output GST will be shown in the credit column of the trial balance. Okay, input GST, whether it is IGST, CGST or SGST, input GST will be shown in the debit column of the trial balance, and output GST will be shown in the credit column of the trial balance. So after that I have started with some. Purchase is an expense, it will go in debit column. Sundry debtors, debit column asset, premises asset, debit column sales income, it will go in credit column. Return outward means purchase return, return outward means purchase return, purchase return other name is return outward. So purchases we show in debit column, so return outward will show in the credit column opposite. Rates and taxes expense, debit column. Cash at bank asset, debit column. Carriage inward is an expense, debit column. Salary expense, debit column. Opening stock will show in debit column. All these three, input IGST, input CGST and input SGST, this all the three items are input GST items, so it will be writing these three items in the debit column of trial balance. Income tax expense, debit column. Sundry creditors is the liability, credit column. Return inward means sales return, sales return will be shown in the debit column. Okay, sales we show in the credit column, so sales return will write in debit column. Furniture asset, debit column. Cash in hand asset, debit column. Capital, credit column. Factory wages expense, debit column. Carriage outward expense, debit column. Rent received is an income, so credit column. Insurance expense, debit column. Bad debt is also expense, debit column. Output, I said output GST, whatever amount is there will show in the credit column. So according to that I have placed the items here, okay, respectively in debit and credit columns, and after that I have added all the total. I got 264190. Next sum, number 10. Read after correctly the trial balance given below. Okay, same method. Capital, credit column. Bad debt recover income, credit column. Creditors is a liability, credit column. Return outward means purchase return, will show in the credit column. Bank overdraft is a liability, will show in credit column. Rent expense, debit column. Salary expense, debit column. Trade expenses is an expense, debit column. Cash in hand asset, debit column. Opening stock of materials and finished good is an asset, so will show in debit column. Purchases is an expense, debit column. Debtors asset, debit column. Bank deposit asset, debit column. Discount allowed is an expense, discount allowed expense, and discount received is an income. Okay, so discount allowed is an expense, so we'll show in debit column. Drawings, it will be in debit column. Return inward sales return, debit column. Sales, credit column. Bills payable, liability, credit column. Grant received is an income, will show in the credit column. So according to that I have placed the items here and I have got the total. You can see the same type, no nothing different is there. Okay, next, correcting the following trial balance. Yes, next sum. Opening stock, debit column asset. Return outward means purchase return, credit column. Salaries expense, debit column. Creditor is a liability, credit column. Bank asset, debit column. Carriage inward is an expense, debit column. Rent received is an income, credit column. Discount allowed expense, debit column. Purchases is an expense, debit column. Bills payable is a liability, credit column. Debtors asset, debit column. Carriage outward is expense, debit column. Capital, amount of money which the business owes to the owner. Okay, capital, the capital is a liability, will be giving showing in the credit column. Machinery asset, debit column. Return inward means sales return. Okay, return inward sales return will be showing the debit column. Insurance claim received is a income, credit column. Trade expenses, debit side as it is an expense, sales income, credit column. Building asset, debit side. According to that I have showed the details. I am following the same rule. All assets, expenses and losses I am showing in debit column, and all income, gains and liabilities I am showing in credit column. According to that I am doing. The trial balance should not be much hard for you all. Okay, it's a very easy thing if you just understand the concept. Okay, next, here one thing we can see here, adjusted purchase. Adjusted purchase means opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. Okay, adjusted purchase is the value which you are getting after opening stock is added to purchase and subtracted closing stock. Okay, so when adjusted purchase is shown, you do not have to take opening stock in the trial balance. Okay, because as it is already included in adjusted purchase, so you don't have to show the opening stock in trial balance separately. Okay, so in adjusted purchase will be shown in debit column. Closing stock, yes, closing stock is, as is not considered in adjusted purchase, so closing stock will show and it will be coming in debit column. Closing stock will be coming in debit column. Debtors asset debit column. Creditors liability credit column. Fixed asset debit column. Opening stock, I said, as it is, as adjusted purchase already include opening stock, so opening stock you don't have to show separately, the opening stock will not be coming here. Okay, remember, adjusted purchase equals to opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. So as in adjusted purchases already we are taking the opening stock, so we don't have to show it separately again. Okay, opening stock will not be considered here. Expenses debit column. Sales credit column. Capital credit column. According to that, I have showed, put the items in respective columns, and then I have added. Okay, so here we have we have completed this chapter. Okay, I don't think you must having any kind of doubts. Okay.